returns them, or just knows he doesn't have to go buy tools because he can just come borrow your tools. That's where we're going to go with this morning on Richmond's Morning News. So let me explain what all of this is about. So if you saw this yesterday, the president said, from now on, we're going to name Lake Ontario Lake America. Of course, Canada got all mad. Now, Canada's sore still because the president refers to them as the 51st state. And that really, really drives at them. I saw John Bolton online, and he said he was talking about something. He'd gone in during the first administration, and Donald Trump was dictating to somebody who was going to tweet out for him. And he said, "Why are you doing that?" He goes, "Because it really gets under their skin." Remember, part of the Trump way of dealing with people is he'll overwhelm you. He'll get you on your heels. He'll get you backpedaling. He'll get you uncomfortable. And then he pounces on you. And that's what he's doing to Canada right now. So when he called him the 51st state, they got all riled up. He lived in their head forever. And again, I tell you this, I never make great choices. I never make great decisions when I'm upset. And he's trying to upset them, and he's doing a pretty good job of it. So when he called him the 51st state, Justin Trudeau melted down. And in fact, he ended up leaving office after that. Now he's got Mark Carney, who Carney is much of the same, getting upset. But what did all this come from? Why are we in a trade war with Canada? They're supposed to be our pals. So I kind of did a little deep dive just to kind of explain it. So they're our biggest trading partners. They're military allies, but the argument is bigger than just tariffs. So you got to remember this. Donald Trump, and I kind of agree with him here, the relationship has become lopsided. Canada gets enormous access to all the consumer markets in the United States, but they protect sensitive industries like dairy and other sectors through quotas, tariffs, and regulations, meaning they can come sell all their stuff down here. 85% of their trade is down here, but there's certain things that they won't let us sell up there. Now, let's throw the one thing in. There's two big things that are that get under everybody's saddle. Number one is the defense spending. Donald Trump has got a big problem with Canada, and I think we should as well. For years, Canada has spent roughly 1.5% of its GDP on defense. The United States spends a lot more. Why does Canada have to spend money on defense? They don't have to, because the United States, NATO, is right here. They share the same landmass that we do. They know that we're going to come protect them, so they don't spend as much on their national defense. Now, they're supposed to spend 5% of their GDP on defense to be a member of NATO. They never have. They haven't come close to it until Donald Trump started putting pressure on them. So why do they get all sore? Well, because they spend their money elsewhere. Imagine if you were able to take all of our defense budget and someone else would protect us. Let's reverse it. Let's say Canada spent all this money on their national defense the way that we do. Hey, we'd have a lot more money to do a bunch of stuff like, I don't know, social programs, infrastructure. Canada uses theirs for that great Canadian healthcare system, which, by the way, when people get sick, they come down here to the United States to use. Social programs, infrastructure, because they live next door to the strongest military in the world. Yet they will lecture us about their healthcare system that they can afford to spend on because they don't spend on their military. Now, basically, it comes down to this. Are we carrying the load for them twice? Because I know we carry the load for them in national defense between Alaska and Canada and the United States. They don't have to spend as much money because they know we've got Alaska to protect them from Russia. The United States will protect them from anybody else, so they're not kicking in their fair share when it comes to NATO. And then if you're going to have that and you're going to be our best friends and our neighbors, well, you're going to have these tariffs that you keep dropping on the United States, keeping us from selling all of our goods in there and having free trade. Well, then wait a minute. Are we getting taken advantage of? Now, one other thing I need to throw in here. What really got them going is streaming television. Streaming television. I'll explain. In Canada, and I know this because I tried to buy a baseball team once and move it to Canada, and there's all kinds of laws. When I started doing the due diligence to move a baseball team to Montreal, me and my partners, we got pretty far on it. But we we discovered everything has to be dual language if it's a certain size, a certain place. So in Canada, they have dual language requirements for just about everything: public spaces, signs, stadium announcements. You have to have it in English and in Spanish. They have two different broadcasts for their baseball games, one in English, one in French. So when we want to stream Netflix or some of our IP into Canada, they protect it by saying, wait a minute, you have to have both languages. And America's like, wait a minute, come on, seriously? They said yes. They go, no, that's garbage. And the Canadians got upset because they thought we were dissing their dual language and their culture. I said, okay, fine, we'll whatever. But they got so bent out of shape. That's really where a lot of this animosity started to become bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, Mark Carney, they say that they had the deal done 11th hour, then he pulls out because he knew it was going to help Donald Trump. So now they pulled out of that, and now we're in a full-blown trade war with Canada. So the response from America was, okay, fine, protect your culture, but don't use culture as a trade barrier when it comes to your language and protecting your industries when we let you come down here and sell everything you want. So it's not really America versus Canada. It's a bigger question. When does this fair relationship between two quote-unquote friends actually look like one country carries more of the defense burden and protects more than the other when it comes to trade? Does Canada give us a fair shake? Can we sell all of our goods up in Canada? Can the way that we let them sell all of their goods here in the United States? And do they carry their fair share when it comes to protecting North America, or do they take advantage of what we do? I think it's pretty clear. And when we have all of these allies, it's pretty interesting. Do you have any friends that it's kind of a one-sided relationship? Because that's kind of what some of these friendships and allies feel like because of the military power that they all sit underneath when it's the blanket of NATO. And then how do they treat us when it comes to the money that we pour into defending them when it comes to trade? 833-804-1140, 833-804-1140. By the way, people chiming in right now saying it's Star Trek over Star Wars. I think all of my friend Tom Huff's friends are texting into the program this morning with their ridiculousness. We all know that Star Wars is much better than Star Trek, even though, again, my friend Tom Huff did get married, dressed up like Spock, and he did make his wife wear the Vulcan ears. But you can hit us up on that, 833-804-1140, 833-804-1140. I saw this story as well. Canada right now, again, you want to be friends with us. One of their government officials said that, you know what, we're going to make sure that when we have these tariffs, we're going to punish places like Michigan. Why would you do that? To hurt the Republicans? Now you're going to get involved in our election. Don't cross that line. The other one, Dave, I just saw this story. The Canadian Broadcasting Company, because we're coming up on the anniversary of September 11th, 25th anniversary, they've instructed their broadcasters not to use the term act of terrorism. Do not refer to terrorism when it comes to 9/11, when they report the anniversary of September 11th on Canadian television. Are they really our friends? Are you really being friendly to the United States? I remember that great story of all the airline passengers that went to that little town, I think it was in Nova Scotia, and they completely rolled out the red carpet, they took people into their homes. It's a beautiful story. Every time I see it, I cry. How do we get from there to where we are today, where the CBC won't even allow them anchors to use the word terrorism when it comes to September 11th? Let's see. Telephone number for you to text in, 833-804-1140, 833-804-1140. Oh, people are complaining about my socialism, communism video I put out. Dude, you want to debate capitalism versus socialism? I'll do it all day long. I'll go Rush Limbaugh style, one hand tied behind my back. Free market is much better than central planning of the collective of Marxism. History will repeat it over and over again. So now I put it out, and I guess now I'm going to get beat up by DSA members. They're going to tell me how great socialism is. You want the smoke? Bring it. 833-804-1140. I'll stand up for America and the free market every day and twice on Sunday. 833-804-1140. 11:40 number for you to join us here on the program. All right, coming up on the show, Amazon Prime. We put that up on Facebook as well. Are you going to use Amazon Prime Air? Are you going to use Amazon Air to deliver packages to your house? I need Diet Coke right now. When am I going to get it? Sir, I can have it to you in a half hour. Great. Push the button. Boom. Diet Coke dropped from a drone onto my back deck. I'll explain to you, and I actually sat down with one of the folks that's working on the project. You'll hear all the particulars of it coming up next in the next hour, top of the hour, News Radio WRVA. Today's program is brought to you in part by our friends at